Okay, Mom, you ready for the interview?
Sure, let's do this.
Alright, tell me a little bit about yourself and your family.
Okay, so we are a family of 5. It's myself, my husband, Tad Reeves, and our 3 kids, Mackenzie, you, my oldest, 10 going on 18, and your brother, who is 9, Denali, and my youngest, Savannah, who's 4. About to turn 5. And we live in Portland, Oregon, fantastic city. We have a great property. We're about 10-15 minutes outside of city center. And we have a beautiful space here. We've got a stream right behind us. We've got fruit trees, apple trees, pear trees, several plum trees. Great place.
Yep. What are some problems you ran into when you first started homeschooling your kids?
Okay, so when we first started homeschooling, Denali was 5, and I think you had just turned 7. And when I first started, I was not familiar with homeschooling. I was familiar with in the education field, and I had done tutoring before, so I was like tutored others, so I was familiar with that. But in gathering up all of the homeschool material and curriculum that was out there and schedules and that sort of thing, I was kind of surprised and overwhelmed with the rigorous way schedules are meant to be run with other curriculums. Like, you're expected to start at 8 a.m. and finish at 3 and have hours of study in between there. And it's when you've got a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old even, or even a 7-year-old, but you were a mature 7-year-old, it's really hard to have them sit and study one thing for that long of a time. So once I got past being overwhelmed with trying to cram in what we were supposed to be cramming in, I just took a step back and I said, you know what we're going to do, we're going to change things around. We're going to put in a schedule that's sane, that's going to work and give you guys lots of outside playtime, lots of doingness. So for Denali, the 5-year-old, he was the youngest at that point, I would do a lesson with him for 5 to 15 minutes maximum.
Right.
I would do something and I'd have his agreement that this is what we're going to do. We're going to start this thing. We're going to get to a certain point. He's going to feel good about it. We're going to be done. And sometimes that would take 6 minutes or 7 minutes or something like that. And then I'd let him go play for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And during the 2 hours that he was playing, I would take you or one of the other children that we were homeschooling with at that time, and I would do another lesson for 5 to 15 minutes. You maybe 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what was the right time for each kid. And then I'd let you guys have time outside where we would do gardening or build something, or but things that you guys were just outside doing. It was just it was free time. And yeah, so that was how I kind of figured it out when we first started.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you handle a daily schedule now, and what have you found has been successful in this?
Okay, so now you guys are older, 9, 10, going on 18. You guys are much more mature, and you have taken on a lot more responsibilities. Both of you are very interested in your studies right now, so I've got a completely different story going on. However, the scheduling is still the most important thing. I can't stress enough how important getting in a schedule for homeschooling is. For instance, we have our schedule already lined up for next week. And it has lesson time, it has breaks times, it has win lunches, that sort of thing. And as long as I have communicated with you 3, you, Denali, and Savannah, and everybody knows what the schedule is, when we talk about it, we go, okay, good, so we're going to do this from this time to this time. We're going to start something, we're going to work on it, and we're going to finish it. And then we're going to start something else. Mm-hmm. And if you guys know that, it just works so much better. It's you're able to start things, you're able to get things done, you're able to complete things, and then you're able to do the next thing, and you actually get things done that way. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you just kind of like try to cram things in as best you can, or try to wing it as best you can, you get to the end of the day and you find out that nothing got done, or that the kids have just destroyed the whole house, and either way that doesn't work. So I think schedule where you can actually start, change, and stop things continually throughout the day is by far the most successful thing.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thanks.
Okay, great.